The deepest hole humans have ever dug goes down about 12 kilometers. The center of the Earth is 6,371 kilometers down. We have scratched barely 0.2% of the way in. And yet we know, with real confidence, that at the very middle of our planet, there is a solid metal ball, hotter than the surface of the sun. Here's how we know, and what's actually down there. Start at the top. The crust, the part we live on, build on, and drill into, is astonishingly thin. Compared to the whole planet, it's roughly the thickness of the skin on an apple. Below it lies the mantle, a vast layer of hot rock that makes up most of the Earth's volume. It's mostly solid, but over enormous timescales it flows and churns like something between rock and treacle, and that slow churning is what drags continents around. Then, about halfway down, everything changes. You hit metal, and that metal comes in two very different forms. So how can anyone possibly know that? Because every large earthquake sends waves right through the planet, and those waves behave differently depending on what they pass through. There are two kinds. One can travel through both solids and liquids. The other can only travel through solids. It simply stops dead at anything molten. And when scientists placed detectors around the world, they found something strange. On the far side of the planet from a quake, one type of wave arrived and the other never did. That was the clue. Something down there was liquid. That liquid is the outer core, an ocean of molten iron and nickel, about 2,000 kilometers deep, sloshing around beneath our feet at temperatures of thousands of degrees. And this churning ocean of liquid metal does something without which none of us would be here. As it moves, it generates electric currents, and those currents generate Earth's magnetic field, the invisible shield that deflects the constant stream of charged particles pouring off the sun. Without it, that solar wind would gradually strip our atmosphere away. Mars, which lost its churning core long ago, shows us exactly how that story ends. Now go deeper still, and you reach the strangest part. At the very center sits the inner core, and it is solid, which sounds impossible because the temperature down there is somewhere around 5,000 degrees Celsius, roughly as hot as the visible surface of the sun. Iron should be a puddle. The reason it isn't is pressure. The entire weight of the planet is pressing inward at something like 3 million times the pressure of the air around you. That pressure squeezes the iron so hard it simply cannot become liquid. It's not cold enough to be solid. It's crushed enough to be solid. And this thing is big. The inner core is roughly 2,400 kilometers across, which makes it very nearly the same size as Pluto. So there is, quite literally, a Pluto-sized ball of solid metal sitting at the center of the world, and every one of us is walking around on top of it. It has been growing, too. As the Earth very slowly cools, molten iron from the outer core freezes onto its surface, meaning the solid center is getting bigger over geological time, millimeter by millimeter, over millions of years. And then, recently, it got stranger. Researchers studying waves that pass straight through the planet's center and bounce back found signs of yet another boundary. Evidence of an innermost inner core, a distinct ball roughly 650 kilometers across, buried inside the inner core itself. Like a hidden layer in an onion nobody knew was there. On top of that, there's an ongoing scientific argument about whether the inner core rotates at a slightly different rate to the rest of the planet, and whether that rate has recently changed. Nobody has settled it. There is, in other words, an unsolved mystery at the exact center of the world. So, under the thin skin we live on, there's a churning ocean of liquid metal generating the shield that keeps our air from blowing away, and inside that, a Pluto-sized ball of solid iron as hot as the surface of the sun, slowly growing, possibly spinning at its own pace, with another mystery ball hidden inside it. We have never been within 6,000 kilometers of it, and we probably never will. We worked it all out by listening, very carefully, to earthquakes. If that gave you chills, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.